A very good Monday morning to everyone out there across the Wobbles community and beyond. Landon Hampton here with you to bring you your latest whether or not forecast, courtesy of On Target. What a wild ride on the Kentucky weather roller coaster we have been on. And folks, we are not done yet. We still got ongoing flooding across the region. We got some of the local rivers that have yet to crest. That'll be occurring a little bit later today. Still got numerous road closures in and throughout the entirety of our region. Please be aware of that, folks, with some rising water still present out there. Our focus currently is what we have coming up next in line. And that's going to be the opportunity at a winter storm impacting the region Tuesday night and throughout our Wednesday time frame. All right, so right now we're underneath a winter storm watch. As you can see there, they could very well be upgraded either as we get later today or throughout tonight. We should see winter storm warnings or winter weather advisories that'll be issued here throughout the region. All right, looking at the latest surface map out here, we have got some clouds streaming in here out of the north and west. Got a few flurries that's flying out there on our Skycam network as well, but that's nothing to worry about. Temperatures are below freezing, so any of the residual water that's been out there on the roadways will result in some slick spots. Be aware of that before you head on your morning commute. All eyes on this deepening area of low pressure out of Colorado. This thing is going to dive all the way down across the Gulf. That's going to be pumping up Gulf moisture out of the south. And then we're going to have Arctic air squeezing in here out of the north and west. That's going to try and set up a bullseye right here in this corridor for a significant snowfall that could be impacting the region. Let's take a look across the region, shall we? Beach Street News Skycam overlooking Morgantown, showing the low-hanging stratus deck there. We had a few flurries on the Skycam there not too long ago. And we can take a look over D93, downtown Bowling Green off of College Street. Pavement looks dry for the most part, folks, but just as a reminder, be aware that there could be a few slick spots out there on the roadways. Taking a look at the temperatures, it is a cold start for us. We got readings anywhere between the low and mid-20s region-wide. We're going to be bumping highs up this afternoon, folks. We should be climbing anywhere around the 30 to 35 degree mark. Maybe a little bit more in some instances as a result as we work throughout this President's Day. A little bit better view at the current surface map. You can see the ongoing low pressure system located over here over southeast Colorado with that front extending all the way down through the Gulf of Mexico. We will have a little stream of moisture coming in here out of the north and west tonight into Tuesday morning. It could put a little bit of snow on the ground before the more prominent weather maker arrives late Tuesday afternoon all the way through Wednesday afternoon. So let's jump right into it. Let's give you the full breakdown, folks, of what's going to be unfolding here, all right? Here we are looking at this morning. We got the surface map over here with that area of low pressure hugging right up along the southeastern tier of Colorado. As we continue to work throughout today, and then we get into very early on Tuesday morning, folks, look at this little ribbon of snow that's slicing right here along the portion right here. Well, that jumped way ahead. That's stretching in here across the northern tier of the region. We'll need to keep eyes on this, folks, as we progress and we work throughout our overnight hours into early tomorrow morning, as that could put a little bit of snow on the ground across the northern tier of Wobbles country. More prominent weather maker arrives throughout our Tuesday night. This is whenever the winter storm watch will go into effect and then continues all the way throughout our Wednesday. This is how the surface setup is going to appear throughout the pre-dawn hours of our Wednesday morning. We have got this deep area of low pressure that's going to be churning moisture north and east here across the region as a result, okay? Whenever that moisture gets pumped up in here out of the Gulf, we're going to have this crashing Arctic high working our way out of Canada. That's going to be pulling winds and much colder air out of the north and west. With those things working in tandem, the deep moisture drawn up across our vicinity, the crashing below freezing temperatures out of the north, this is the equation, at least for the opportunity of a healthy snow to impact the area. So let's get a closer look here at the short-term model guidance and kind of show you where our thinking resides on this, okay? There has been a downward trend in the models here. We put that out on X yesterday that we weren't putting out any snow totals right now. Some folks are putting out and showcasing the maps that were showing anywhere between 5 to 10 inches of snowfall, and it doesn't necessarily look likely given the current setup with this weather maker. Here we are working throughout today. Will be dry as a bone, but working into tonight into early tomorrow morning, folks. Look at this little ribbon of snow that's working in here out of the west. This has this impacting the northern tier of the region, including Butler County, Edmonton County, stretching over here across the northern tier of Warren County and Barron County as well, as that thing slides eastward through sunrise tomorrow and then finally lifts out to our north by roughly mid-morning. Folks, if this comes to fruition, those of you who see this, given the temperature profiles within our atmosphere, it's not going to take much snow to produce amounts out of this. So overnight into early Tuesday morning, we don't have any advisories that's out for this point in time, but as cold as the temperatures are going to be, we could get a dusting to ½ inch of snow on the ground with this weather maker throughout the pre-dawn hours and then through the mid-morning hours of tomorrow before this ribbon of snow lifts out into our north. Those of you all up towards the I-64 corridor near E-Town, stretching over towards Richmond, could get in on even more snowfall as a result. Then attention turns to the better opportunity at accumulating snowfall. Right now, short-term model guidance is pulling this in here at any point between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening. Then it continues to wrap up and come through with the heaviest snowfall as we work throughout the overnight hours on Tuesday into the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday morning, as you can see here. All right, it looks like the bulk of this will be falling whenever the vast majority of us are tucked away sound asleep in our beds. And then by sunrise, we get the back edge of the winter storm that finally jogs the east of the region before clearing out of here right around the midday time frame. Folks, there's something I want to mention. Whenever we get this system out of here, our temperatures are going to drop substantially and be absolutely frigid. Whenever we roll into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we could very well be dealing with single digits along with some freezing sub-zero wind chills, and then only recovering to the teens as we work throughout our Thursday, back down to the single digits Thursday night, creeping up perhaps between the low and mid-20s on Friday. I say that to express anything that falls with this weather maker, it's going to stick. We've got the cold air that's already infiltrated the region here behind all of the flooding that we've experienced. We're only going to hit the low to mid-30s today, folks, and for our Tuesday, we might not even get above freezing. So the cold air is going to be locked in place, and that's sometimes what we struggle with in regards to getting accumulating snowfall on the ground. Now for something that I want to point out as well, why I'm not overly confident in these absurd snow totals of 5 to 10 inches coming to fruition. Take a look at our precipitable water values that come along with this as we work into our Tuesday. First and foremost, the little ribbon that skirts right across our vicinity early tomorrow morning. That is why we are looking at the potential for an additional dusting up to ½ inch-ish of snow very early tomorrow morning. Then the better moisture arrives here as we work throughout our Tuesday night on into Wednesday, folks. You can see here where we get the better moisture content, around ½ inch or 6/10 of an inch of precipitable waters, folks, dealing with winter weather. That is somewhat significant. And then it looks to track east down to the region. Now I want to showcase, though, the change that we've seen. So take a look at just a short time ago on the previous model runs and compare it with what we were just looking at. Look how much more precipitable water is available with yesterday's model guidance suite that came in. There was much more precipitable water available and moisture content within our atmosphere. When we fast forward to the latest run for comparison, and again, folks, look, the moisture is getting squeezed further south with the Arctic air jolting in here out of the north. That's why I'm not overly impressed with seeing totals of the magnitude of 5 to 10 inches out there. I think it's going to be pared down quite a bit less than that as a result. The latest ensemble guidance is in agreement. Here we are looking at the probability of getting at least 1 inch of snowfall with this weather maker, okay? And it's got us at the highest probability percentile of that. It is given 100% probability across the majority of the region of getting at least 1 inch of snowfall on the ground. But folks, watch whenever we change that 1 inch to at least 4 inches of snowfall on the ground. There's no probabilities whatsoever of this particular guidance that's showcasing we're going to get 4 inches of snow on the ground. That's why there remains question marks with this particular weather maker and what's going to be following, all right? So let's give you the full breakdown here and what it is that we're looking at. We have got impactful winter weather headlines. We have a winter storm watch that is currently out. Again, folks, either later today or throughout tonight, this is going to be placed where we'll either be in a winter storm warning or we'll be underneath a winter weather advisory. Winter storm warning is for higher snow totals. Winter weather advisory will be if lesser totals are expected. The potential winter storm impacts, folks, you can see will be maximized across the western tier of the region. That's where the better forcing and moisture content is going to be available. Thus, higher snow totals are expected over in that direction, all right? Now for the thing that I want you all to take with a grain of salt is us showcasing the latest from our local National Weather Service office. It's got the WABBLES community bisected there with the northwestern tier of the region labeled 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. The southeastern tier of the region looking at anywhere from a dusting up to around 2 inches. That is why we have such a wide range of guidance. And folks, you'll note we have in big, bold, white letters there. The forecast will change as we get closer to the event. Models are not in a complete agreement. Whenever models come into an agreement, we refer to that as a common solution. That's not necessarily in full agreement as we speak, so that remains to be seen, but it looks like we'll get an accumulation snowfall here on the ground. I have high confidence in that occurring. It's just the amounts there to where it's going to be somewhat of a tit for tat, if you will, okay? So I want to show you this and the ranges in the snowfall amounts. We have a boom scenario and we have a bust scenario. Forecast bust is whenever forecasts do not come to fruition. And you can see here on the left side of the image, low end of snowfall amounts will be a dusting up to 2 inches. High end snowfall amounts could stretch upwards of anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. So we're kind of painting the middle ground here of roughly 1 to 4 inches for the most part, I think is what can be expected here across the WABBLES community. A few areas, localized areas, could get in on even higher totals if we're able to get some banding in here along with that. But folks, the frigid cold that's going to be following suit behind this is what is going to add insult to injury. Any amount of snowfall that falls out there, folks, it's not necessarily the amounts that we focus on, it's the impacts that are going to result, and you can definitely expect deteriorating travel conditions very quickly whenever this moves through. And folks, I would like to add that does include a very early tomorrow morning with a little light snowfall that could be impacting the region before the more prominent winter storm arrives as we work into Tuesday evening and then throughout the overnight and on into the Wednesday morning time frame. Here's a full breakdown showcasing your next 6-day weather forecast presented by Ohio Valley Insurance. We have got cloud cover early this morning, flying flurries, more sunshine as we work throughout this President's Day. It's going to stay very cold with highs in the low to mid 30s. Tuesday, more cloud cover, got the potential for the light snow event around sunrise. And then the walloping winter storm Tuesday night, and look at the fallout in those temperatures. We're going to be right around freezing tomorrow for highs, mid and upper teens Tuesday night, mid and upper 20s on Wednesday. Folks, I think that might be a little bit overdone. I think on Wednesday, some of us could potentially maybe not even escape the low or even mid 20s. Single digits Wednesday night. Right around the upper teens on Thursday, single digits Thursday night, potential for sub-zero wind chills during this point in time. Friday, right around the freezing mark at 32 degrees. Friday night, back down into the teens. Folks, whatever falls on the ground, the snow looks like it's going to be hanging around at least through the start of the weekend whenever we can finally get some sort of thaw in here, all right? So with that being said, folks, it's going to wrap up your Monday morning whether or not forecast presented by On Target. Our partners here have been churning and burning with numerous flood emergencies across the region. If you need any help getting the water out of your homes, out of your crawl spaces or basements, that emergency line is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a blessed start